Hello everyone, this is Todd Ballinger with Kendall Todd, and I'm giving you an update today on the Bar Smart software. Really excited about some of these new changes, and I hope you are as well. One of the first things you'll notice is a much improved graphical user interface, and you'll notice that there's a background here now, and that background stays in place, and I can go through and use my software normally. And that background allows you to customize the look and feel of your software. Most of the people that we're talking to are finding this is the first platform where they can sit there with a client and dynamically have a conversation. That can be in place, like face-to-face with a client in your office where they're looking at your monitor, or you might be using our desktop sharing tools and sharing your desktop out. Either way, we wanted this to look really compelling, and this gives you the ability to pick from over 30 different backgrounds that we've got that will tie in perfectly with maybe your brand or a look and feel, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. The other big change that you're probably going to notice here is we've really cleaned up the interface. We have our welcome message up here, our help, our support tab, and our log out tab, and all of the other controls are now here on the left. So if I want to go from presentations, which is where I manage and build all my presentations, to do a quick calculation for a calculator, I click the calculator tab. If I want to look at my current partners that have signed up, if I want to invite new partners, I've got my partner control here on the left. What this is going to do is it's going to give us a lot more room to work and add graphs and charts and different resources that will help you with these particular tools. On our microsites now, you can see that preview. I can build my microsite and I can learn a little bit more about the artificial intelligence. And you'll start to see these kind of build out. One of the newest things that you're going to notice here is on the smartphone, we have a live preview. So this is going to give you a live preview of what a user would see on their smartphone if they were using your platform. It'll have your logo, your picture, all of your personal information. So you can go through and make a change now and come back and see how does that smartphone differ. The other thing is the My Account features here on the lower left. We've combined your branding and your defaults and your billing controls. So all of those now are under the My Accounts feature here on the left. So I've got my photo, my logo, my personal information, my company graphics, social media. All of this is the same with one difference here is you'll notice you now see background image control. So our default here is the houses, but I can go through and pick from any of these different options. So maybe I like kind of like the lake background. So I click Calm Lake, and you'll notice this is going to preview in the background what that calm lake looks like. So I can go through and pick anything here that would be kind of interesting or cool. There's everything from geometry patterns you might be familiar with in the iPad to more of a graphical kind of a landscape. Maybe you have red and blue in your logo, and you want to have something that ties in, and you pick say the painting option. We have some sort of very nice kind of simple soft type colors that you might see. I've had some folks who have maybe an orange in their logo, so you might want to pick orange swirl, something that gives it some nice bright. And you'll notice the transparencies that are applied allow you to really see a different look and feel for what your software is going to look like. Once you find something that you really like, that you think, this really is something that works for me, and you say, hey, that's kind of like I'm going for, all you have to do is click that Save Changes button down here below, and that will become your new background. So let's see, what should I use for the rest of this presentation? Why don't we use, let's see, I'll tell you what I like. I like the grass. I like that look. It's a nice, soft kind of a green background. Great if you've got a green logo. So see how easy that is? So you've got this new ability to control the look and feel of your software. All of your defaults and stuff are the same with one new addition here. Many of you liked having this disclosure information, and we kind of built a disclosure for you, but you wanted to tweak it. Maybe you wanted to put in some additional information about your personal licensing or some things that your company wants you to have on your presentations. You can completely delete this and put your own disclosure, or you can go through here and add or edit to our custom disclosure text, and that will show up on your report. Simply go through and make your adjustment and click Save All Changes, and that's going to show up. And here's your billing tab right here. If you need to upgrade, downgrade, add new features in the future, that'll all be done right here on the billing tab. So again, hopefully you'll like this interface. We have a couple of new features we'll be rolling out here. They'll show up as icons on the left, And we're going to be expanding some of the controls and the abilities you have to use some of these very powerful tools here. But for the most part, most of our users spend their time on the presentations tab, and that's where you go through and build your particular presentations. So let me talk about a couple of the new features that we've added. Now, we've got it so that you can do a new plan in 8 fields. So let me show you how this works. Nothing's really changed here, but I just want to show you how simple this is. On the plan type, you pick your refinance. That's field 1. Field 2, what's the title going to be that's going to help me remember that? Okay, that's field 2. Now we've grouped the 4 what I call the key fields here on the left. That's the client name, their income, their tax bracket, and their email. So that we got 1 field, 2 fields, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 fields that I'm recommending you to use every time. These CRM fields here are all optional. So these are just additional fields that you might want to put information in. You may already have it, but if you're building a new plan for a client, you can come over here and click refinance or purchase, put in a title, name, income, tax bracket, and email. So we're at 6 fields, and then I can put in their mortgage, that's 7 fields, and I can put in their important objectives right here. So that's 8 fields. That's all I'm required to do. Actually, I'm not even required to do that. There are no required fields here that you would want to put in other than the name. But I've been going through and using this and working up some plans for friends and doing some testing, and I can go through and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fields, I'm off to the races with my plan. So all we've done is group those 4 fields for you here to make it fast and easy and give you the additional fields that you might want here. If I want to do that more advanced interview, I simply click the Show Detailed Interview Questions, and I've got those additional interviews. And you'll notice the interface now, we have bolder headings and we have boxes that make it a little bit easier for the information to pop out for you. If I can collapse that, it's going to go away, and I go to the borrow screen. And here on the borrow screen, no changes here. The same format before, your closing cost, your pre-tax, and your future wealth. But again, with the bolder headers and the grayscaling, it just makes it a little bit easier to see the numbers and the math as you're working up your particular plan for your client. So there is one new feature that you'll notice on this page if you're doing an ARM, and that is we've expanded our ARM simulator controls. So a couple of you have said, the default, remember now with the regulatory compliance, is that you would want to use a worst case scenario. So that means if I go through and put in for my 5-year ARM, 60 months, 2%, 12%, etc., the software is going to go through and begin at the 60-month period looking at a worst case scenario for that particular client going forward. So we had decrease to best case, increase to worst case, and stable rates at current levels. But many of you have said that, I kind of have a feel that rates are going to stay the same for a couple of years, and then they're going to go up. But I don't think they're going to go to a worst case. I think they're going to go up to maybe national average of 8 or 9%. So now with a custom rate simulation, I can click that, and it gives me these additional controls. So I'm going to use my ARM details here for this ARM, but I'm going to assume that the index right now stays the same for the next 2 years. Then I think it'll go up as high at this 6-month LIBOR. I think the LIBOR index could go up as high as 7.5%. And I think on when adjusting monthly at an annual rate of, I don't think we're going to see the rates go up more than about 1.5% per year would be the worst case. So now you've got a custom simulation where you've got all of their ARM information is in here, but you're able to actually build the scenario that you want to have modeled behind the scenes, and that is rates stay the same for 2 years, then go up to 7.5% in the index, and they would only go up about 1.5% a year. That gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how you model your particular ARM simulation. And I would just click the save, and that's going to be what we use for the ARM simulator. So this gives you more control in terms of what you're able to do for your client. Think about it. You could show the current here, and you could show a 7-year ARM increase to best case, 7-year ARM increase to worst case, 7-year ARM, what would most likely happen, which might be rates stay the same for 2 or 3 years and then go up to the national index average over, say, a 1% per year time period. And you've now done the ability with a single 7-year ARM to show side by side 3 different options. You can show the financial impact below. So we've got one other really cool feature here, something we've never seen before, but in terms of a public tool that you could use, but something that we've been talking about and educating in our classes, and we do this quite a bit in financial advisor workshops. And, on the repay screen, which you expand at the bottom of the borrow screen. So if you're not familiar with that, on the manage, borrow, and present, you have that additional control if you want to expand into the advanced repay features, and you can model multiple scenarios, including comparing the current, to itself. So if I want to, I can compare a current loan to a current, or a current to a 5-year. Let's compare a current to a 30-year refi. And this client had a couple of debts. As you can see here, they have a Bank of America credit card, savings, and liabilities. And if I go with just a normal payment, and I say slide this out to, let's just say go out to 30 years. So this gives me the ability on the borrow screen to compare a couple of programs. And then over here, I want to show this client, if you keep doing what you're doing today in a normal payment scenario, you're going to be debt-free in 30 years. If you do what I'm recommending on this new 30-year refinance, you're going to be debt-free in 20 years and 8 months. And that means the extra money, once all your debt's paid off, can go into a savings account, and that savings account's going to grow. Now, many of you are familiar with the ability to do a snowball. A debt snowball means that they keep their current debt, but they apply all their cash and cash flow towards either the lowest balance first or the highest interest rate. So that means I'm going to pay off my highest interest rate first, then my next highest, and I'm going to keep making the same payment, and I'm going to snowball my debts. And if I do this with my existing debt, I could be debt-free in 19 years and 1 month, and then all that money gets to go into savings. But with my new mortgage, if I got a new mortgage and did the same thing, paid the same payment, I'm debt-free in 15 years and 7 months. And this shows you the wealth impact over time, $141,027. That's pretty cool. But some of you have asked about this idea of, what about an asset snowball? What if they pay off a debt, but instead of taking the extra money that is freed up from paying off that debt and paying it towards new debts, they apply that instead towards savings? So we've added a new category called asset snowball. And what an asset snowball does is it makes the required payments for each debt, and it pays the debts off on their normal term. But each time a debt is paid off, the extra cash or cash flow that's available could then go into savings. So what you do is you get a freedom point here where the assets or the savings cross over on the liabilities. But this is really neat if maybe you want clients to pay off their current debts, and maybe they're going to pay a little bit extra each month towards those debts. But once the debt's paid off, that extra cash flow always goes towards savings. Here you can see how once the mortgage is paid off in just 15 years, 7 months, all that cash then goes right into savings. And you can see the financial impact now grows to $184,500. It's a little bit more of an advanced feature, but it gives you, again, incredible control over how you model a plan for a consumer or a client who might be trying to accomplish different goals. So those are some of the main features. There's a lot of other little tweaks in here, but I just wanted to hit some of the highlights for you. As always, if you have a question, give us a call, email us, let us know at support@kendalltodd.com what we can do to help you, and let us know how to make it better, because your feedback and your guidance is what's really helping us to prioritize the key features. And again, our goal is to be the fastest, simplest, most accurate tool in the industry, but simultaneously be the most powerful. And I think with this new version, we've gone another step in the direction of doing that. If we're not already there, we're giving you that complete control in terms of your plan. Yet at the same time, with Manage, Borrow, and Present, I can put 8 fields in on the Manage tab, just 8 fields. Go to the Borrow page, select a current liability alternative for my client, and model the cash impact, the cash flow impact, and the wealth impact over time. And then with just one more click, go to the Present tab and decide if I want to present that to my client as a PDF, as a web presentation, as a full-on website, or via desktop share if they'd like to just sit at home or in their office and watch me go through and share these benefits. So a lot of cool new features coming. Hope you like what we've given you so far. Again, let us know how we can make it better. Have a great day.